Let's make some chili. Leftover rice. That's good. Turn the pot on. Got one there. Oh, the spices look great. Oh, 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 shoot. A little dirt, a little hair. It's good for you. Let's see, this is going in the chili, so we're gonna do some rounds. I'm gonna do big, thick. Oops, I'm gonna do big, thick chunks. I like a chunky chili. Now these are pretty big, so we could go halves. Maybe with this big giant one. Maybe like that. Now I went to a discount place. Got a bunch of canned food today, a bunch of canned beans. I would have bought just raw beans, but I didn't want to wait overnight to cook them. And I found some cans that were on sale for $1.35, which is great because the last couple stores I've been to, even the canned beans have been $2 to $3, when normally they were around 97 cents before. I am gonna buy sacks of dry beans once I get organized. Okay, we got just a little bit of avocado oil in the bottom. You could use a variety. I just had it on a low 1, just warming it up. Put these jalapenos in here. And the seeds. Get in there. Just gonna let that very gently. I'm gonna bring it up to 2. I'm gonna kind of sizzle them a little bit and then turn it down. Now the mushroom, adding it for flavor. I wish I had more, but I also want it, I want it to be kind of chunky. So I'm gonna do a little bit bigger bites here. It's a brown mushroom or criminy mushroom. Criminy. So, buying a mushroom or two, or foraging them, buying one jalapeno, it's not very much money. And then these are my seasonings mix I made out of a bulk seasonings that I have, but I picked those up over time. You could simply just get a 79 cents or $1.20, somewhere in there, a packet of, chili seasoning. My seasoning has paprika, cumin, cinnamon, a special garlic blend with bell peppers and parsley and stuff, black pepper, red chili pepper flakes, minced dried garlic, a whole pile of minced dried garlic under there, ginger, pink Himalayan salt crystals that are going to dissolve into the mix, a big old pile of cayenne. I think, is that all I put in there? I think that's it. Oh, hi, Yadira. I wasn't looking at the screen. Hi, Angelitos. Hi. Yeah, this is. I'm gonna flip it back around. I'm not watching the screen. Okay, so sizzling up. I'm gonna turn that back down to like a 1. And then the easy way I do this, you might hear a helicopter. Okay, well, basic diced tomatoes. That was affordable. There's a Coast Guard helicopter. Nope, sightseeing helicopter. Wait, sometimes you can get these already seasoned also for the same price. These are on sale, and I just grabbed them because I knew I had seasoning. I'll use the juices from that also. So here we go. This is one of the ones I got, chili beans, and it already had some chili flavorings. Oh, that's what I was trying to say that I put in there. Cumin. There's a nice little pile of cumin there too. Now this chili bean here, we can just put directly in the pot because it has the chili flavorings in it, so I don't need to drain it or rinse it from the, the aquafaba or the, the juices. So this is good. So for the same price. So let's just say that jalapeno and that mushroom cost $1. And then that can was $1.35. So we're up to $2.35, and that would be enough for a whole meal already, right? Especially if you put it over some rice, bread, whatever your thing is, whatever you can afford or not. You can also eat that cold. I like the cans because I can rinse them and recycle them. I even pull off and recycle the, or I'll use this sometimes as a fire starter. It's pretty handy. And then you can also make a little fire, using your little tin cans. You can use this for a little higher. You can poke some holes in here with your knife or whatever. And then you can use this for like a little fire thing. If you have scissors or, some way of cutting these up too, then you can like put another one on top, or you can change it out. You can create a cooking, surface, anyway, there's a lot of things you can do with used cans for survival, including cutting the top and bottom of it, and then you can make a little chimney out of them as well. So anyway, handy cans. Okay, what else we got? We got some dark red kidney beans. Dark red because of the additional nutritional content. Plus, I love the taste of like kidney beans in general. I think they're a little creamier, gives a different type of flavor profile within the chili, so I like that. Sometimes I put garbanzo beans or chickpeas in my chili too. Now this one's, comes with that liquid. I'm not going to use that liquid. I'm gonna rinse it off. You could save it on the side and blend it into various things, just like aquafaba from chickpeas. Okay, so we got those. Aren't those nice looking? Wow. I know there's a lot of people out there that are starving right now, really running low on food. And so I drove an extra like 15 miles today. I know it doesn't sound like far, but it wasn't just a quick straight shot, you know, so I still spent like a gallon in gas. So there's the $4.50 for gas. However, the things I got were like 1/3, 1/2 the price of the cost of some of the other places I was going. So I was glad to find, you know, these black beans and stuff for $1.35. That's pretty good. And then I'm making enough, you know, this is enough chili for, you know, 3 or 4 people. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, a lot of times I rinse these, but it is edible. The sauce that comes in, you know. And if you're in an area where you don't have running water, you know, you're saving your water, you know, you could just eat that. I'm gonna give it just a little, I'm just gonna rinse it just a little bit. There we go. Just a little bit. Yeah, cumin. Yeah, cumin. It's so good. It's so good. All right. Let's take a look at the pot here, shall we? Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Look at those nice beans. Oh, they're beautiful. Beautiful, huh? Yeah. It's very nice. Let's mix this up here. So yeah, so, you know, just remember simple foods like these. And then you could like boost the protein in here by literally cubing and adding some tofu, or like there's just multitudes of different types of proteins you can add in. You know, pea, etc. I got a little something right there. I think it fell in from the tree, but there we go. Nice, yeah. Oh, yeah, very nice. Oh, that's gonna be good. That's looking good, huh? Let's go ahead and put this on here. We're gonna add our tomatoes here in a minute, but look at that nice big old pile of spices. Beauty. Beauty. Oh yeah. That's the good stuff right there. That's the good stuff right there. Yeah, think about foods that store easy after you cook them also. And it's pretty easy to put a pot of beans outside, you know, with a stone on the lid right there. Put it inside another bucket so the critters don't get it. But a lot of this stuff you can just set it outside or in your basement or whatever where it's cool enough. And let's put these diced tomatoes in here, shall we? Oh yeah, there we go. Now that's a nice, simple, and I know, I mean, I could have made it even simpler, but the whole point, what I'm trying to say is that this is a very flavorful, robust little pot of chili right here. And that's enough for, you know, 4 people to have a bowl, or for me to have leftovers. And then the other thing with it being plant-based, I can eat plenty of it. And then you can, of course, make it last longer by having it over rice, or using bread or tortillas, or, you know, anything else that is you know, a starch over potatoes, you know, like vegan chili dogs. Like, you could do a lot with this. Plus, this in a bowl little bit of sauerkraut on it wouldn't be bad, right? So there's different ways to use your chili. This also being cold afterwards, make a lovely cold bean salad that you could put on top of a actual salad. You know, put a few scoops of that on top of a little romaine salad or a arugula, like, you know, mix it up, whatever you got. Just look around and see what's affordable. You know, get stuff like this so you have it on the shelf so it's self-stable. It's easy to cook. You can eat it cold. It's great emergency food, but it's also incredibly tasty and will help you with your probiotic, prebiotic, and all that stuff, especially if you get that garlic and, you know, ginger, cinnamon, you know, things that help you with your blood flow, the paprika, the chili, the cayenne. And of course, you can just get yourself a flavor packet, you know. Not too shabby, huh, Yadira? Now, fun things you could do, you know, that's a real good, simple, basic chili. Let's add it up here with the cost again. So, oh, also, I do have some leftover rice. This is a rice that's about like 3 or 4 days old. Be fine. It's gonna be great with this chili. I could just dump it in there and like kind of recook it with it, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let the chili just simmer real low for a couple hours here. I'm just gonna leave it on the super low setting because I got electricity here, and I'm just gonna let it simmer and just soak up all that amazing, delicious juices. And then I'm gonna warm up this rice separately. I'm gonna do like a quick like pan fried rice in my stainless steel pan, just like this. This already has some flavor on it from before, but I'm gonna keep it real simple, warm it up, and then I'll just use this under, and then I'll put a couple scoops of that chili on it. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna fill my tummy. It's gonna give me plenty of calories and plenty of protein as well, and lots of nutrients. And once again, you can, if you need certain specific nutrients in your diet, you can take something like a basic chili like this, and you could add in, say for instance, spinach, right? You could let the spinach just cook in with the chili. It's quite delicious. And then you get iron and a whole bunch of other vitamins, right? You could put plantains in here. You could cut a mango and put it in here. You could cut chunks of apple and put it in there. You could like literally, like, you know, you can add nuts. You can try so many different things. The key thing is to not do so much that it takes away from the overall flavor that you're shooting for, or that maybe that you're used to, and that you do it in such a way that it just adds a little pop here and there and makes it interesting and different and unique. Plus, this is a great way to use whatever you have left over in the fridge or in your cooler or whatever's falling in the yard, right? We could add berries to this if we wanted. So, and sometimes you can add those things by squishing them or pureeing them or something. I don't have any of those like things here, but I will chop it or smash it if I need to by hand. And like my pink salt grinder, it got overheated in the sun and it warped. So I'm just using whole crystals now and letting it dissolve. So you can always make a puree, right? Or a bisque or a you know, a marinade also out of various ingredients that you have. You know, like I said, tofu, the aquafaba, like the pea protein. You could add in scoops of protein mix. So just keep in mind there's various ways to approach it. And of course, a lot of people would put some sort of a meat or something, but I'm not a necrovore and I don't do that. Anyway, I think that just about covers it. I almost used potato today because I have one large russet potato. And, but it's just me. If I had 3 or 4 people with me and I needed to fill our guts and get some carbs mixed with the proteins because we needed to have those calories to do things, either to be active and fun or to do some work, whatever it is, that's a great way to do that too. You can take that potato and cut it up and kind of like sear it in a pan, or you can pre-boil it and then drop the chunks right in the chili. And then part of it's gonna help thicken the chili with that kind of the part of the potato that comes off. and then you're still gonna have chunks left over. And then if you cook it all together, it's kind of like a chili potato chowder, right? And then you could go from a red sauce to a white. Like, you can do so many different things. Have fun with it the best you can. And I know a lot of people are like, they are starving right now. I'm trying to help the best I can. I donate here and there where I can, helping homeless people, helping people who don't have food when I can. And then I assist as many people also. Like this way, I try to be here. I just think it's important that, you know, while we're, having fun with food, that we also are very responsible, and the realization that there are so many people that don't, and that, you know, I want to take a different approach to my food crafting and making, and, help people realize you can do different things with a lot of stuff, and you can create a lot of things, and you can do it thriftily if you're in survival mode. So there you go. There's my thing. Today I was lucky. They had a bag of jasmine rice for like $1.25, which was great because at the last store the same bag was $5. So, sometimes it's worth a little bit of a drive to a discount store, and then without having anything in mind, just go in and see what kind of products fit your diet. And that if anything that is, inexpensive can be used, for your needs. And that's what I did. I got 2 4-packs of Civic Safe toilet paper because earlier today I went to use the state park restrooms, and every single bathroom was out of paper. I don't mind. I'll just use a towel or a rag and clean, and then whatever. I'm fine. Like, no big deal. But once you get in there, and then if you don't notice that before then you kind of get stuck. So luckily I noticed beforehand. So one of the other reasons I went to the store was to get some papers, and I got these for like $1 a pack. There are ways to make it if you can start shopping off-brand, and if you can change your diet a little bit to go from what you're expecting to have on a menu to seeing and, going with what is on sale or not, and then creating what you can from that. It's another way to go too, Last thing I'm going to add in, I do carry these liquid aminos that I like. This is a liquid soy aminos, and I like them. I like the flavor. It's a very nice flavor. So we're going to splash some of that here in the chili. Boop, 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 boop. I don't want it too salty. I can always, do that. Doesn't that look nice? Let's give it a little stir. And then I think that's it for today. I just wanted to check in, say hi, send my love, and say stay safe, and, prepare yourselves, to survive on things like beans and rice, or pretty much any shelf-stable things, right, that you can cook or eat raw. All right, we're gonna put the lid on. I'll set that at 2 for a little bit. There we go. And then just because I have them, and I got these because they were on sale for like $1.99 a while back from a store I usually get a different brand of olive from. And these are like a garlic stuffed olive. Now, it was $1.99 for this, which is a really good deal. However, the olives they're super, super green and they're not ripe, right? They're just like really lacking some ripeness. So they just weren't very enjoyable, to eat on their own. because they're just not ripe enough for this. So what we're gonna do is, instead of wasting them, is I'm gonna go ahead and chop them up. And like I said, you check the fridge, you check the cooler, you check the cabinet, you see what you got that's not gonna get used, and then you use it. Find a way. Oh. Alrighty. So we're just gonna cut them up and throw them in the chili. See, they're tough. Even to cut, they're a little tough. So putting them in the chili will soften them, and it'll give me another flavor profile bite that I think will be good with the chili. Plus extra little chunks of garlic, very nice. And also this way I'm making sure there's no leftover pit pieces or anything that I might throw in my chili, because I want to be able to just chomp that chili. I don't want to have to be checking every single bite I put in my mouth to make sure there's not a pit in it. Because sometimes you get pits when you're eating these, you know? I just want to say, of course, as usual, every single day I spend a lot of time focusing. Some people call it prayer. I have no religion, so, you know, that's fine. Prayer, focus, thoughts, words, because I try to say things out loud as much as possible too. Please feed the starving children and people around the world. Please. Please. Look at those beautiful olives. Those will be easier to eat now. And it'll create a little bit of a pop in the chili. Here we go. Alrighty. Oh, very nice. Look at that, huh? They get used and they'll be soft and delicious. Okay, well, we're just gonna let this simmer for a while. I think this will be very nutritious and delicious, and it's gonna be amazing over the top of rice. Of course, with some chips or tortilla shells. You know, you could also make burritos with this, right? And for those of you who, you know, eat eggs, huevos, things like that, of course, it's great with all kinds of things like that. All right, take care. Have a lovely day. I wish you sustenance, safe water to drink, safe shelter, and safe people to be with. And of course, salads, greens. There's so many things you can put, like something like that on. Oh, so good with everything. Oh, I was adding up the prices earlier. Shoot, I got off track. Okay, $2.70, $1.35, and $2.70. So that's $2.70 and $2.70 is $5.20, right? No wait, $2.70 and $2.70. That makes 2 and 2 is 4, so 5. Yeah, 5.40, I think, right? 5.40. This rice, this is 25 cents worth of rice. So we'll just round up. We'll make it 6. You know, you might not buy a whole bottle of this like I do and keep it around. But I just used just a little bit of it because it's potent, right? There's a lot of different ways to do that. But let's say the seasoning was $1. I got that. I'm not including the olives because that was like an extra thing. Let's see, 6, 7. What else did I have? Oh yeah, the jalapeno mushroom. So $7. $7? Yeah, about $7. About $7, and that's enough to feed. That's enough to feed 4 people. A pretty good, a very nutritious and densely nutritious meal. And of course, you'd stretch that by adding water to the pot. You know, I have this like super thick and chunky, right? So you could stretch that out by chopping the veggies smaller and adding a little bit of water to it. Cook it down so it gets thicker. You could go with a tomato paste instead of like chopped tomatoes, so you can get it thicker. You can also add things like cornstarch or flour, or you know, there's tons of ways to like potato, etc. Different ways to thicken it. So you know, but or you could leave it kind of like a little bit more watery and have it like a chili soup, but then pair it with bread, noodles, rice, other things that are going to soak up all those juices when you put it on it, right? So think about that. If you're trying to eat healthy, plus you're also, you know, really trying to stick to, you know, and you have a hard time doing like small single servings like I do. And I don't really have, like this time I happen to have ice ready to go, but I usually don't carry that with me. Somebody gave me 2 bags of ice the other day. It was very nice. So I simply will put this leftover chili in a glass jar that I have left over from pickles or whatever like this, and then like I said, you can just set it outside and it'll store. You just don't want it to get really hot. You could even recan it, right? You could recan it by boiling a little bit of water, right, and filling the contents with the warm beans, and then putting the cap on it and then letting it cool down, and that'll go and create a vacuum. And because it's beans and salt and vinegar and the tomatoes and all that stuff, it creates a natural, you know, it'll be a natural preservative pretty good on it. You just don't want to set it out like in the sun, right? Yeah, it's not bad, right? Not bad, right, Justin? Like when you think about it like that, especially if you're sharing with people, or, you know, you compare it with other things. Like I said, like, you know, some people might make like a pan of cornbread, right? Or anyway, there's just so many different ways to utilize it and stretch it. You know, I can afford right now to buy more expensive food, as it were, but like I don't like, that makes no sense to me either. I do it out of necessity when I can't source or find something that's reasonably, you know, cost-wise for the same thing. I'm kind of built like that, kind of frugal, but you know, hey, if I can't, and you know, and I wanted to make chili and it was like the best thing I wanted to do, and they cost $2 a can or $2.50 a can, I probably would have bought them anyway. Because even if I double that price at $3 or $3.50 a meal, you know, to get like, that's still really good. Like, and I can't go get, you know, a bowl of chili like this for anywhere, you know, close to that, you know, similar price, if that makes any sense. So anyway, Han and I are taking it pretty easy. I'm talking kind of quiet because it's a full camp, and I'm just kind of quietly doing my, you know, my live here. So, and I didn't intend on talking initially. Hi, Eva. I didn't intend on talking with everybody initially, but then, you know, oh, that's looking good. We're starting to get some bubbles. We're just keeping it on that low too. I'm just getting a little bit of simmer going. It's looking so good. All right, isn't this sky just like, just check out the, here, I'm gonna flip it around. Let me show you some of this sky here today. Wow. This tree is gorgeous too. Look at this beautiful tree here. And what about the Hana? She's hiding over there. The elusive Hana. She's rolling on her ball like she just captured it or something. She's like, I got you. Now I roll on you. She's sunbathing and enjoying the cool breeze. Speaking of cool breezes, gave myself a little trim. I didn't have a regular razor. My friend gave me one of those like forever sharp, like prepare for surgery razors or something. It has like little serrated edges on it, but it's like protected or whatever. And I just used a little bit of bath soap and some water and here at the and I had to go super easy. You got to get the angle just right, or you can like cut super quick. And so it was a little scary. What do we got going on? My eyes pop. You mean like pop, 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 pow, pow. Oh, I can feel them popping inside my skull. Pop, oh, oh. Let's see here. I can't even open them. It's so bright. Thank you, Eva. Thank you. That's so nice of you. All right, let's see, Justin. Oh, thank you, Justin. I really appreciate that. Hannah is turning. Oh, she snuck up on me. Come here, babe. Hannah is going to turn 6 this November. December? Wait, no, October, November, I'm pretty sure. November, yeah, is when she was born, I'm pretty sure. Ready? Oh, awesome catch. Show off. You little show off, you. Yeah. Feeling good. My energy's doing good today. I'm feeling all right, even though things are absolutely gone like next level crazy here in the old USA. There is some light here and there. People are fighting back. But a lot of us are just worried that it might be too late. So I'm just gonna keep doing things like this to help people learn how to make the most of their food and little survival tips if I can here and there. I myself, I have to be pushed all the way to the edge of crisis in order to be able to activate so much of my skills and resources. But at least I know that the knowledge for so many things is there, and I'm gonna continue to learn new ones. Like I was talking about the other day, foraging and stuff, getting better at that. So, it's funny to be a vegan, but know how to like source, the animal kingdom is food if I have to myself. And hopefully we don't get there. But if I did, I'd probably be at the rivers and ocean first. And, just go straight for the manatees. Ooh, time to immigrate to Costa Rica. Yeah, Costa Rica is absolutely gorgeous. Of course, they have so many poisonous things there. Oof. But gorgeous. Yeah, right? There's always a give and take. The most beautiful places are often the most dangerous. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Will you thrift shop for winter clothes? Well, I have another bin of clothes back at a friend's closet a few hours away. And in a week or so, I'll be camping closer to them. And I plan on making a trip up there and, getting my clothes load out set up better. Yeah, not the manatees, not at all. They're the most adorable. Like, my whole point was like, yeah, and if I do become, a necrovore again, the first thing I'll do is go kill and eat the cutest and most harmless like creature in the ocean. That was kind of the like, no, it won't happen. Won't happen. Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Let's see. Will you thrift shop? Oh yeah, thrift shop, and then the minor. Oh, yeah, Costa Rica. I might look up on that. What else was I saying? Oh, winter clothes. So in that other bin, I have under, I have cold weather. I have some cold weather gear. I have under long underwear, top and bottoms. I have I have thicker socks. I need to get a pair of boots. The shoes I'm wearing are not for adventuring at all. They're in town. Go to the workout joint place shoes. You know what I mean? So I do need to get some better shoes. I really should get some boots. But I have various gear and clothes, and so I'm gonna change out the clothes thing, and I may end up getting like a larger overall jacket, or maybe just a rain slicker type of thing like that. But yeah, I do love going thrifting for trying to find like clothes and stuff. And where I'm at, there's thrift stores and Goodwills fairly regularly up and down the Oregon coast, and then Vancouver, Washington, always. Yeah, Necrovore. I've been people have been using that a lot more lately to help. People are like, they give vegans such a hard time, or vegetarians such a hard time. Like saying, hey, well, but we're omnivores, we're carnivores, and it's like, well, no, you don't have the teeth to be a carnivore, and truly a carnivore hunts and kills and eats its prey raw. So you could say a person with carnivore if they were like, raw from the ocean, certain fish, is in a sashimi, like immediately. But a lot of people don't even understand that a lot of sashimi, a lot of the food that they eat from the ocean has to be frozen in order to get rid of parasites, or, it has to be cooked. Like there's various things, and it's not always as safe as people think. Although I was in Okinawa, skipjack, and I did eat it directly from, that was an interesting experience, and like I said, I think if I had to, then that would be the way. Like it has to be by me, and anyway, that's just my whole thing. But so recently I've been reading, people talking about, well, no, where really people that eat meat and stuff aren't necessarily omnivores or they're not carnivores, because they're not hunting it, and they don't have fangs, and they're not killing it and then eating it raw on the spot, because that's what an actual carnivore is. And that we're actually necrovores because we're eating dead meat that's been bleached or hit with preservatives or other things, dyes, etc., to keep it looking all wonderful and fresh, at a market, which is just extra special gross. So whatever, everybody's got their thing and does their thing, and as long as they don't have to see it and do it themselves, they seem to be okay with it. But I did most of all that stuff growing up, and it's different when you're on a farm direct acting with the animals, raising and caring for them, and then also dealing with the slaughtering and eating of them. It's a bit different, but I didn't like that very much then either, and I wouldn't want to do it now. I would not want to do it now, although I wouldn't mind having acreage where I just had like so many beehives, natural and ones that we could get honey from and stuff, honey and wax as byproducts. I'm okay with that, especially since bee populations need help. Like that's where I'm just like, okay, vegan and like helping the bee population. I'm not harming them by getting that. So that to me seems like a really good we're both here coexisting and helping each other. Like that to me, that's where it's at. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody out there, but all right, well, I better go because I'm just rambling now. It's nice that you're all here, and thanks so much. And this chili is going to be delicious, and I'll have some in storage, and I can just eat on it, for the next couple days. and I can change it up, you know, like I said, add the noodles or do other stuff. So I'm glad I took the drive. I got the backup toilet paper, and I'm taking care of my food, so I'll get sustenance myself. And yeah, all right. We're just gonna keep trying to stay on this really chill and peaceful tip today with all the insanity, the whole world, and all the suffering and pain and everything going on. I just want to keep holding space for healing and love and kindness, and I just want to keep funneling that through me and in the earth, and everyone to breathe it. I want to feel it. I want to vibrate it. I want to live it. And if that means I have to feel the pain also, then so be it, because that's the reality, and I'm not going to shut them out. They're screaming and they're hungry, and I hear them. And I'm trying to do something about it in the little ways that I can. What does this pink square mean, Yadira? I always wondered. I don't see a pink square. Oh, Eva, you must be seeing, because you're in Vienna, there's a chance that basically when we use an emote or an emoji, that when it comes through on yours, that it's not showing you what people are putting up here. Yeah. What Yadira showed up, did was she put up the emoji for the hands coming together to make a heart. Like that. And then so a lot of times when people are at different places around the world, the different emojis that we'll send, they don't come across the same to other users sometimes. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Thanks for being with me here today for a little bit, y'all. That's so nice to see you. Hi, Mr. Pickle. Hi. Oh, okay. Well, I think I'm going to clean up and recycle my cans. You know, could make a little stove with these, which is pretty cool. I have to do that one of these times, you know. Get out my other. I carry a couple different, you know, tools in the pouches of the vehicle as well as my toolbox, but you can cut these and you can make them so they overlap. You know. And then, like I said, the way they're designed is great, because depending on the kind of can bottom you get, right? Some of them are double-ended, so you can use the opener on both ends, and some of them have the smooth round crease. But you know, with a little bit of ingenuity, you can still cut this out or cut a hole here, and then they actually fit right inside the other like that. And you just use a little piece of tape and you start building a chimney, or, you know, a double boiler. All right, we'll catch you later, everybody. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe. Peace to you. Self-love.